Hello everybody, welcome to the final episode of the IC10X series. So, first off, I'm going to say something probably a bit sad about this device, is that we have died on it. So, this guy has sadly left us behind, and now we are stuck with Egg. So I can't do much about that right now, but that is pretty much the sort of end point for us right there, for the little device that we call the IC. So, it's going to just do... Oh, I accidentally started it up again. That might be good there for me, because I need to take out the battery, so... But we have ended the IC. Our Digimon has sadly passed away, and we did not get far with the whole battles and stuff like that. So, sad there. But I have decided to end it, because I don't think I can really show off much more of this device, because the evolution cycles are pretty much very similar in ways, and you're just sort of giving chips and stuff like that out. We will see this device again at some point when I am running the 20X, or, yeah, I'm running the 20X device, just because this and the 20X have things that they can do together. So I'm going to be propping this guy back up for the 20X at some point. So don't be shocked when you see this device again for the, whatever's for the 20X whenever I get one of those. Just because I did actually really enjoy this device. There are some major flaws with this device, though, I will say. Okay, watch. It's going to hatch real quickly. Blop, 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 blop. And there's actually one thing I could do here, because I never showed this off originally. Okay. Just going to give him some food here. Boop. Yeah, there you go. I got to show this off, so I'm glad I actually got to restart the egg here. And we're going to go in here. Hit that push button. And bam, look at that. Beautiful Bodemon close-up. Let's get that again. Let's get that beautiful Bodemon close-up one more time. So, back to what I was trying to say. Before we do that, though, I gotta do that. Put the afro on him. Yes. Make him beautiful. Love him. Look at that. Amazing. That is actually really hilarious. Okay, let me get back on topic here. So, I did really enjoy the IC device. It was really cool to see this sort of connection between the Tamagotchi and Digimon in this sort of device. So, for those who don't know, this device shares a lot with the Intama and Family Chi, or whatever, the V4 and V5 connection devices. And it's very cool with that whole, like, sort of gimmick they went with that there. Just because it just works out really nicely for this device. Just something about having some of those Tamagotchi connections or some of those, like, features from the Tamagotchi connection line does make it really nice in a way. The negative is I don't think they took everything from the connection in a sort of stance. Like, I know it couldn't be an exact duplicate of the connections, but I feel like they should have done a few more fixes. So, like, there was no, like, random events and stuff like that to help you along the way. And the whole battle system in this device does get very tedious. Like, it just takes a really long time to do any of the battles. And there's no skip option for the battles. So they do just kind of make you sit there and force you to watch all of it. And these battles can go on for, like, 15 minutes straight sometimes. Like, it does take a really long time. And sometimes you have to sit there and do multiple in a row. And it is the most tedious thing in the world. Just because you get to sit down and keep on pushing it through. And just... the money output for this whole battling system is not that great either. And the output for, like, the mini games is also really bad. So, like, to enter the second tournament, not the first, you have to put, like, $100 down, which means you have to at least either play the mini game 2 times, which is kind of tedious depending on which minigame you play, or you have to sit down and either go through the tournament setting, which will give you, like, the whole $100 or whatever. Either way, it's not that great. But to be honest, the second tournament's not that bad with the money part. It starts getting worse when you start getting into later tournaments, wherein they start asking you for, like, 500 or 1,000 or whatever points needed. Like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And this device overall has a maximum value of, like, 9,999 points. So that means you get like 9 attempts to do like the 4th tournament. So that means if you lose a bunch of times, that means you're going to have to go right back to doing the grind, right back to doing this and that. It gets really tedious. For the earlier tournaments, it's really fun. I do really enjoy the sort of lead up till the end. I do think the money system in this device is probably one of the like downfalls of it compared to some of the other Digivices. Like I really did enjoy like the whole functions of it. And I do kind of think there are certain things that were kind of lacking. So one of the bigger lacking things was I kind of thought the charge function kind of got really pointless after the first run. Because after the first run, you really don't need to use these anymore. Yeah, there you go. But like after you do like a few runs, you don't really need to kind of do the charge function anymore. And overall, it was just like, whatever there. And just kind of like pointless with the whole charge thing. Overall, besides that, I did actually really enjoy this thing. It was a fun device to run. I wish the roster was a bit more boosted up though. And I kind of wish that they added a few more ways to get money in this device. I really do think they either needed to increase how much money you got from the minigames, or just like add like something else to make it more easier to access stuff. I also thought random events should have been part of this device. That is one of those things I do think the Connection series does really well, is that it's always there to like put like a random event in the day. Like you get the sales guy who pops up and is like, hey, check out my items. Or you get, like, bonding events and stuff like that. Like, or the Entama and Uratama, where they had, like, the whole mailing system where it either gave you more money or it took away money from you, depending on your actions in the device. Which I do think the IC needed some of those things. Just because it led to so much grinding in that sort of sense. Especially when you start getting past, like, championship stage. So overall, I do think there's, like, little things they should have fixed up or whatever. But overall, if anyone is curious about this device, I do recommend giving it a shot. It is actually really fun to mess around with, and I feel like it's more of a nice little entry point for Digimon, especially compared to some of the other devices in ways. I still say the best entry point is probably the 20th devices, because those are there's so much content in them, and they sort of give you a nice feeling for how Digimon works out very nicely. But if you're wanting like some other entry points that isn't the 20th, then I do recommend the IC for that, because you can find these for cheap sometimes. Don't spend too much on these things. They literally pop up for cheap a lot of the times. So I do recommend just kind of trying to find one. This is a 10X unit, so it'll either be blue or orange. The 20X units do go for a bit more, and so if you're running like a starting point, I recommend trying to find one of these. I also have not ran a 20X yet, so I do not know all the changes in those devices. So I'm just going to say that for right now. If anyone is curious, I do recommend it. I do recommend this device. It did have some very interesting concepts, and I kind of wish Bandai would revisit this device. It very much needs to have a revisit that updates a lot of the features in this thing, because I feel like there's so many opportunities that they very much missed out on. And you can see some of the things when they did revisit some of the concepts. I just kind of wish they revisit the whole thing in general, just because it is cool to see, like, in the other devices, like, some of the things that you could have seen them do or whatever. Like, the whole item system is one that you kind of sort of see with the DMX and stuff popping back up. So I'm kind of curious if they'd ever go back to doing a shop system like this device had. Like, I'd really be interested to have a shop system that would give you evolutions and stuff out of it. Because, like, let's say you go into a shop and you have a Vmon, and you buy that Vmon a armor egg, and then you could go down the armor evolution path or something like that. Like, I feel like there's many ways to fix some of the devices issues or whatever. Add more flair to it. Like in the V5, you can buy a item that allows your Tamagotchi to evolve into a Kuro Mamachi or whatever. So it's like, why not have more of that in Digimon, where like you could do that with armor evolutions, you can have that with crests and stuff like that. Like, give out some really cool ways of buying some items that help like evolution or whatever, or having them like unlock it in some way. Besides that, though, I also really enjoyed the item system where like they wear random items. I think that should be another comeback too. Comeback, blah. Because it does really add like a bit of personality to your Digimon and lets you customize them in ways that's just really awesome. Like every time I see the afro, I just think of that one scene in like Digimon Adventure where like Agumon puts on an afro and becomes like and is trying to get into like Vondemon's place. Like that's really funny in a way. And I also do like how they actually kind of keep on the items, unlike the Tamagotchi devices where they will take off stuff. At least in the older connections. I know the newer ones do have like that sort of like they'll wear an item and it just does whatever. I do like how in this one though they put on the item and actually do gain new frames of animation. So congrats to the team making that. That was really impressive. They didn't have to do a lot of that effort, especially now because you do see that in some of the other devices where they'll just put on an item and just keep on with the base animations, or it takes away animations. It's kind of weird. Oh, as I completely throw the device, I just meant to try setting that down. Oops. That scratched my screen. It did not. Yay. So, I'm going to put this item down for right now. Sorry for... Nope, it pooped. Don't know why I'm trying to take care of this thing. Like, it's very weird. I mean... So, I'm going to put this down there because we have one thing to announce, and that is the winner of the next Tamagotchi series. Or not series, I guess... Well, the poll was mainly Tamagotchi. I did put in the DM Kiwami because I did want to run that device as well. Issue was I had multiple devices I wanted to run, and I also heard people telling me, or people asking me, that if I can run a Tamagotchi device again. So I finally decided to sit down and just do a poll instead because I figured that was one of the better ways of doing it, because I was back and forth on which device I'll run next, and I've done a bunch of Digimon content and other weird battling VPET content for a little bit now. Because I think my Uratama series has now been, like, is 2 months or so, or 3 months old or something now. Which is crazy to think about that, because I didn't realize it's been that long since I ran a Tamagotchi. But the winner of the poll was the Tamagotchi On. So we get to run this wonderful device pretty soon. Well, I say pretty soon, because I'm going to try posting an episode today with it. This is just a little filler episode because I knew that I had to end off the series. I was going to end it off in a better sense, but it died during the whole dealing with Easter stuff. So I am sorry about that, y'all. But we'll be running this wonderful device. So be ready for that. And I will see you all next time with the Tamagotchi On. I also have to go find batteries for this thing because this takes 2 AAA batteries. So hopefully I have 2 AAA batteries. If not, I'll be running to the store. But thank y'all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye-bye.